7 and rescue's been towed.
All right, you guys. That's the radar looking go towards Key West. Nice band coming in there, but I'm not going to go get that. I'm heading back north. Hope you enjoyed the Hurricane Monument. One last look at it as we pull away.
No one.
4712?
Veterans that deceased. When was the last contact we had with them? No one.
They just found
Somebody
somebody.
asking for lost contact with Jennifer?
They just found somebody unconscious behind a steering wheel down here somewhere, and I think they may have had a seizure.
I'm showing the 8th of this month. It's a neighbor problem. Or people.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead.
At the 39, there's somebody saying there's a campsite we do Bayside around the 39 mile marker. Silver.
Firefighters called in about that. They said they got him in foot 5.
Copy. There's a wreck. Also got flagged down by a reckless driver at the 44 white Chevy Silverado northbound about 5 minutes out of there.
44 mile marker northbound reckless driver, white Mustang at 1509.
Typical weekend, people getting drunk and acting stupid.
5 0.
Come on.
Looking at the radar, there's really nothing up where I'm at right
Just
now.
copy Ebola reckless driver, 44 mile marker, 5 minutes. The 44 5-minute time delay was a white Mustang and reckless. Reference was flagged down to Tango 13 at 15 minutes. Zero Street at 15 head.
Execution service will be around to the Colonel Mission.
Rolling and clear. Switching break 1123, you're Florida.
Next CVRO.
Stand by. Fifteen 11.
So, I will tell you for a fact, I won't be down in the Florida Keys if it's another Fred situation. Fred's going to be my last tropical depression / open wave chase. I mean, really, to try to get water spouts is a needle in a haystack. It really is. And if you live, Jim Leonard used to live down here, so he was able to. How was that? Jim was able to get out there and intercept, whenever the weather turned bad, because he was already there. But I'm just going to keep this streaming until I get through the Keys, and then terminated. Just kind of want to give people an idea of what it looks like heading out of the Keys if they've never been here. This is 2-lane road all the way through the Keys, the entire length of the Keys, and then it get on this old Dixie Highway road where there's nothingness, and then you head to the open highways to get back into Dade County and Broward. I don't know if I have sound on here anyways. I'm not even sure. You plug it in and unplug it and have to go through all that aggravation. I don't know if it's working. And that you get up into Key Largo, northern Keys, and it's more congested. Yeah, no trip to the Hemingway house this time. It's there for the aftermath of Irma, and Irma took a toll on the Hemingway house. Actually, it decapitated a lot of the trees and a lot of dead foliage. You know, speaking of Hemingway, that whole thing throws me. Why the Hemingway Day down in Key West, where the guys all try to go there and look like Hemingway. But the fact of the matter is, when he lived in the Keys, he was young. He didn't look like those gray-haired guys with the beards and everything and the mustache. Like, he was young. He had dark hair. I don't even think he had any facial hair. He might have had a mustache. I think he had a mustache. And maybe a slight goatee or something when he was living in Key West, but he didn't get that old gray beard looking, old pirate-like looking face until he got down and he lived in Cuba. And I think down in Havana somewhere, and he loved Cuba even more than he loved Key West. And that's when he had that look, and they hold this gathering of these Hemingway guys, and they're doing what he looked like in Cuba, not in Key West. So I don't really get that. I think when they do that, it should be younger guys. There should be guys that are like in their 30s and 40s that look like a younger Hemingway coming, to do that contest. But that's just me. By the way, speaking of Hemingway, also, he went down and helped the people of that 1935 Labor Day hurricane. He was one of the first to get down there and find bodies in trees, bodies ripped apart, bodies where the whole skin was ripped off of humans. That's how bad it was. And Hemingway was one of the first ones down there, and he was probably into hurricanes after that one, I would assume. Or at least wondering about him and may have read about him. And I don't know if any of his books, I haven't read any of his books, to be honest with you. But I don't know if any of his books, they probably do reference that hurricane, but most of it is about his fishing and his wives that he had. He was married like 3 times. He was an adventurer. He would go inject himself in the middle of wars, like when World War II came around. He was like over there. He wasn't even like an enlisted person. He was running around acting like an enlisted person, like getting involved in combat. Like what the? He was a crazy dude, you know. Like I said, man, ripping that bathroom stall out of the sloppy joes and taking it home. But people love the guy. I mean, they come down to the Keys, and that's like one of the biggest attractions down there, if not the biggest. Then, of course, there's all the cats with all the 6 toes on them, and which there probably still are because they reproduce and their DNA has 6 toes. I've been up in that lighthouse too. That's pretty cool. I think there's a nautical museum down there. Of course, there's a 7 Mile beach. There's the southernmost point. And then they have these little trolleys that go, you know, take you all around the island. And then, of course, there's Mallory Square where, you know, people go and perform. They do all these tricks and eating fire and running around on unicycles and whatnot. I think I did watch that once. It'd be kind of cool to capture a hurricane down in Key West, because there is a high point in the very center of the island. It's about something like 30-35 feet in the center of Key West. The surrounding areas go underwater easily. In fact, the water comes up through the drains and floods the city. So if you can get right directly in the center of the island, that's the highest point, you might be able to survive. Although, I gotta admit, was it Cat 4 or 5 coming into Key West? I don't know if I'd want to be there. I mean, being able to find a high place and not lose the truck would be tough, because everybody puts their vehicles in the high places. So you might not be able to find a high place to park. Anyway, we're in Key Largo. Yeah, just about Key Largo. Last time I was down here was for Tropical Storm Ada last year, and that was treacherous. It wasn't about the wind and all that. It was, the rain was torrential. It was, I think there was 15-20 inches of rain in southern Florida, and I had to drive. It wasn't that bad in the Keys, but when I got up into southern Dade and getting into Broward, it was there was flooding everywhere. It was really bad. The roads, I mean, you really had to, it was a white knuckle drive. I mean, that rain was coming down, and it was dark, of course, and the rain was coming down so hard that you literally, you couldn't see more than 20 feet in front of you while you were driving. It was, and then getting out of the Keys on this road that I'm on right now, there were areas that were flooded, and you could see the waves washing over this road of US 1. So it was treacherous. But I got home one piece, no problem. But the heavy rain really bothers me. In fact, it reminds me of Sally, because Sally was like that last year. The dark, being in the dark, torrential rainfall. I mean, coming down in buckets, and where you can't hardly see out in front of you. And when you turn on these LEDs on this truck, it blinds you, so you can't run the LEDs when the rain is that heavy, because it bounces off the rain like it's a wall. Ada was something. For a tropical storm, anyway. Of course, Ada was a major hurricane down in Central America, Category 4. Anyways, they pull over because I'm going to go ahead and terminate the broadcast. It's gone on long enough. Got to block my phone. And so, folks, it was good. Wish I could have gave you a water spout. Didn't happen. We'll get the next one. Maybe it'll be Grace. We'll see what happens. Anyway, take care, everyone, and please visit hurricanecity.com for the latest model runs and guidance on what's the cone of error and everything and where the storms are going to go. It's all based on NHC data. It's not made up, so it's legit data. It's from the NHC. It's all extracted from there. And we just like to display the best performing models and give people an idea of where it's headed. All right, well, that's it. Jim Williams signing off. We'll get you on the next.